And how's it going, everybody? Happy Friday, everyone. Louis Longoria here with Garage Gameday Sports. It is Conference Championship Saturday. I've been waiting a long time to say that. We are at the tail end of the college football season. We will see on Sunday who the four teams will make the cut in the college football playoff rankings. But first, we've got to get through the big conference championship games. We've got the Power Five conference championship games and also a bonus championship game, Cincinnati-Houston in the AAC. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's get rolling. Friday night, Pac-12 championship game, Oregon-Utah. Utah opening it as a 3-point favorite, over-under set to 57.5. Utah, of course, the beating they put on the Ducks 2 weeks ago by a tune of 38-7. Anthony Brown and Cam Rising, the two quarterbacks in this one, going to want to take care of the ball here. I think we get a defensive effort from both teams, a high-quality defensive effort, and sure, a much better game than the game 2 weeks ago. Rice-Eccles is a tough place to play. Utah, and they really handed it to Oregon. Oregon's going to come out, I think, a lot more prepared, and will definitely get a closer game. You know, the winner obviously going to the Rose Bowl with both of them having multiple losses. The college football playoff obviously out of the cards. But the 10th ranked Ducks, the 17th ranked Utes will put on a show in Las Vegas. But I just can't see the Ducks winning this after losing so bad. That 31-point loss, they just looked really sloppy. I don't think Utah's defense will surrender that many points after an effort. They only gave up 7. I just see Kyle Whittingham's team shutting down the Ducks again. I'll take Utah giving the points, and I would be taking the under the 57.5. I've got the Utes here, 27-21. Utah winning again in the rematch and taking the bid to the Rose Bowl, where they would take on a Big Ten representative. Right now it looks like Ohio State, but that's still very much up in the cards. Let's go ahead and head on to the ACC. Late Saturday game. Two teams not really used to being in the spotlight in the ACC. Wake Forest, Pittsburgh, anchored by two great quarterbacks. We should see a lot of offensive fireworks in this game. Sam Hartman for Wake Forest, Kenny Pickett for the Pitt Panthers, putting up some good numbers. Unfortunately, their defenses are also giving up a lot of points too, so Hartman and Pickett having to really air out the ball and having to bail out their defenses after giving up so many points. Pittsburgh, a 3-point favorite, over-under set to 71. I think both teams are going to come out a little gun shy and not wanting to turn the ball over, not wanting to take such explosive plays, because like I said, they haven't really been in this position before. It's been Clemson, you know, and a revolving door of challengers in the ACC championship. You know, North Carolina, Florida State, teams like that. So these two teams, I think, going to be kind of weary at first, and then we'll see some fireworks in this one. Likely Peach Bowl berth for the winner. This one also. The winner not really eligible for the college football playoff. They've both got multiple losses, but this Wake Forest defense just very prone to explosive plays. We've seen North Carolina tear them up. We saw Clemson drop points on them. We saw Army hang 56 and rush for, I think it was 400 or maybe even 500 yards with as many times as Army runs the ball. I just have too many concerns on that Wake Forest defense, and I think Kenny Pickett finds a way, and he'll really solidify himself as one of the key quarterbacks in this draft class. I think Pittsburgh gets it done. I think they hang just a shade under the over/under of 71. I got a total of 69. I've got Pitt winning 38-31, and then they, of course, obviously cover the 3-point spread that is hanging on the Panthers right now. Let's go ahead and talk to the American Championship game. Number 4, Cincinnati. Number 21, Houston. Cincinnati, perfect. They are in line to be the first Group of 5 team to have a college football playoff berth. Do not screw it up now, Bearcats, please. You've come this far. They're 10.5-point favorites. Over/under set to 52.5. Cincinnati's defense steps up at times, but then again, they also tend to play with their food and let teams hang around for longer than they're supposed to. And this Houston team is dangerous, man. 11-1 on the year. They dropped the season opener to Texas Tech, but they're on an 11-game win streak, and Cincinnati on a 12-game winning streak. So something's got to give here in the American. I don't know. how close Houston can really keep this. I like Cincinnati's defense too much. I think Luke Fickell will have the Bearcats ready to rumble. And Desmond Ridder, I think, will just make a couple extra plays with his arms and legs. Um, I just see Cincinnati. They've come too far to lose now. I've got them winning 35-24. In the American, you've got teams that can score points, and I think Houston can hang around for a half. But I've got Cincinnati just barely covering their 10.5-point spread, and then I would take them on the over. I think Cincinnati Cinderella run continues. I think they're the first G5 team to make the college football playoff. Being from Texas, I've got to rep the Texas team, so I would hope Houston would put up a good fight here. But for the college football playoff and for just the group of fives, the little guys, to have a shot, I'm really rooting for Cincinnati here to complete their perfect season. I think another ranked win on their resume, this one over 21st ranked Houston, I think would give them enough in the chamber to hold on to that number 4 spot and maybe even move up to number 3 if Alabama loses to Georgia. The nightmare scenario, if you're the Bearcats, you don't want Alabama beating Georgia and you don't want Oklahoma State beating Baylor, because Alabama would stay ahead of you, and you being at number 4, I think, would knock them down a peg if the Cowboys were to jump them. So that would be their doomsday scenario. They don't want both of those to happen. And obviously a loss to Houston knocks them out anyway. But I think Cincinnati gets it done. I think Luke Fickell's done a terrific job with the Bearcats. I think they get it done. They get into the college football playoff. Now the Big 12 championship. It's kind of weird without Oklahoma in this. As a Longhorns fan, Longhorns have kind of been out of it for about a month now. But it brings me great joy to see that Oklahoma is not in this game. Oklahoma State, a 3.5-point favorite over Baylor. The 5th-ranked Cowboys and the 9th-ranked Baylor Bears. I don't think Baylor would have quite the resume to jump all the way into the top 4 with a win here. I think this is really just for Oklahoma State. They're at number 5. If they win, I think they jump Cincinnati regardless. And may even, jump to number 3 if things fall their way. They're hoping for a repeat of the matchup earlier in the year. The Cowboys, of course, won 24-14. They're hoping for more of the same in the rematch, and they won that game at home. This one, of course, at the Cotton Bowl. Cowboys defense, I think, holds serve again. I'm not really sold on Spencer Sanders at quarterback, but I think they've got enough in the tank on defense to limit Gary Bohannon and that Baylor offense. I know it's tough to beat the same team twice in a regular season. It's tough to beat them. I just have more faith in Oklahoma State right now. And them being at number 4, or number 5, excuse me. Oklahoma State being at 5 and Baylor being at 9. Oklahoma State's never been here, but I just really think they've got what it takes to get into the top 4 and to get this win. They wouldn't be the only program making their first appearance in the top 4. If Cincinnati were to get there and if Michigan were to get there, they'd all be first timers in the college football playoff. It's going to be tough beating a Dave Aranda coach team twice. He's very good at making adjustments, very good defensively for Baylor. I just think the Sooners, the Cowboys, the Oklahoma State Cowboys win a slugfest in this game. I'll go 24-20. Oklahoma State wins a closer game than the last time, but I would have them covering their spread, and I would have them just a tick under the 46.5-point total. So I think the Cowboys make the college football playoff. Let's go ahead and shift to a grind of a game. This is going to be a beat you and your mother up type of game. Big Ten Championship, Michigan, Iowa. Michigan, a double-digit favorite. They're at 11 points right now. The over-under set to 43.5. We've seen in years past, and we saw it notably last year with Ohio State, Northwestern. And Northwestern played a very different game than Ohio State did, and they had them on the ropes for a half. I think Northwestern actually had the lead in that game in the second quarter before Ohio State finally figured it out, was able to kind of pull away. But it was never a blowout by any means. Northwestern kept them very honest, and the Buckeyes grinded away with a win. These two teams are built very similar, and they're predicated on defense, taking the ball away, and they can run the ball. And Michigan just does it better than Iowa. Iowa's very good. They're a very good team, but Michigan's just a little better in every aspect of the offense, the defense, running the ball, throwing the ball especially. Iowa, I'm not really a fan of Spencer Petras. He doesn't really do it for me at quarterback. Michigan can sling the ball, but Iowa generates a lot of turnovers. And in their 2 losses, they've only generated 1 turnover. And in their wins, they've generated 27 turnovers. So the Hawkeyes can definitely get it done. They need to generate turnovers and limit possessions of Michigan, or this could have the potential to get ugly. I think Iowa hangs around a half, but I don't think Michigan suffers the hangover that most people might be expecting Michigan to have after Jim Harbaugh finally got his big win over Ohio State last week. I just don't think Michigan is going to drop this game. Jim Harbaugh's going to have his guys ready. They're just going to get it done. They're better than Iowa in every aspect, except maybe the secondary and maybe special teams. But Michigan's just got too much offense. I don't see Iowa scoring a ton of points here. I've got Michigan winning 27-14. That would be Michigan taking Michigan and giving the points, and also the under the 43.5 magic total, the magic number we have for that Big Ten title game. So I've got Michigan winning. That leaves us to the big one. The SEC Championship, number 1, Georgia, number 3, Alabama. Georgia, a 6.5-point favorite, over-under set to 49.5. This could have the makings of a Georgia blowout. We all know that defense, what that defense is capable of. Hardly anyone can score on the Bulldogs. They are only giving up an average of 7 points per contest. And Bama's been struggling. We've seen what their lines on both sides of the trenches, they can get bullied. We saw that in the A&M game. We saw that in the Florida game. And this offense has been struggling too. They've struggled to put away Auburn. It took them 4 overtimes to beat Auburn, and it took a 97-yard drive at the end of that game to finally put away the Tigers. We saw them struggle against LSU, Arkansas. So this is not the team we're used to seeing from Alabama, and they're still very good. Don't get me wrong. They're still a very talented team, well-coached team, obviously, with Nick Saban. You can never rule out the Tide. It's just we haven't been seeing that dominating effort, that really grinding it out, running the ball, and the defense is not there the way it has been in the past. And Georgia has that defense, and they've got the quarterback play on the other side of the ball to really make life tough for opposing defenses. I think it's the Bulldogs' time to run the SEC. Alabama has had a heck of a run in the SEC. I just think it's Georgia's time right now. Kirby Smart and those Bulldogs are ready to play. They've been dominating all year long behind the suffocating defense and behind Stetson Bennett. I think Georgia gets it done by double digits. I like Georgia 28-17 over Alabama. That would be the under, and that would be Georgia giving the 6.5 points. I like Georgia, so my final 4 rankings would be in this order. Georgia number 1, Michigan by virtue of their Big Ten championship at number 2. I would have Oklahoma State at number 3, jumping Cincinnati by virtue of their Big 12 championship. They'd have a pair of wins over Baylor as well as the Oklahoma win. And I would have the Cincinnati Bearcats at number 4. They would have another ranked win over Houston to add to their resume and an AAC championship. So that would be my 4 picks for the college football playoff. That would be a heck of a pair of semifinal matchups. You'd have Georgia, Cincinnati, likely in the Orange Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl would likely feature Michigan, Oklahoma State. You would have 3 of those 4 teams making their first ever college football playoff, with Georgia making it previously. Of course, we remember the heartbreak they suffered in the championship game against Alabama a few years ago. Some new blood would be welcome, would be much welcome. I would love to see these teams duke it out in the college football playoff. I'm very much looking forward to championship Saturday, and actually the party gets started tonight, of course, with the Pac-12 championship. Oregon and Utah get things started tonight. Should be a wonderful weekend of college football. I will be back to break it down and to break down the New Year's Six Bowls and the college football playoff. My name is Louis Longoria. I'm with Garage Gameday Sports. You can find me at Gameday Garage on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can also find us on Facebook, Spotify, or wherever you hear your podcasts. I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic Friday.